He wants to go right in the paper.
At least they got a better picture
He wants to.
than Kevin shot.
Okay.
That one was much better today.
Yeah, that was when they took the last meeting with me and Travis.
Yeah, let's pledge allegiance, get this underway. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll do a roll call.
Persing,
Here.
Shipman,
Here.
Henry. Here. Eister. Rechner.
Here. Mr. Shipman, sir, the meeting is yours.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Gentlemen, you have a packet in front of you. I'd like you to go back in that packet to about the 5th page to look at a summary, just so you know where we're starting from, and then we can go from there. This current fiscal year, we have fiscal year 2012 and 13 and fiscal year 2014 through October 31st budget numbers, and then the last 2015 is the tentative budget. As you can see, the revenue is down, and so are some expenses to some degree. Projected revenue this year is $4,169,500 compared to estimated for the 2014 fiscal year of $4,353,898. So as you can see, we're down just a little less than $200,000 in anticipated revenue. Now, I met with Terry, with Kevin and Kathy, and we did a very close look at those revenue figures. I think we're comfortable with those revenue figures, that they are appropriate. We've tried to be fair where we thought we could, where the expenses were down this year, we reduced the estimated requirement for next year. Where the revenues were up this year, we adjusted those, and so forth. So we're pretty confident, I believe, on the revenue side, that we're going to be somewhere around $4.2 million of revenue for 2015. Each of you have submitted requests for your department, and as you can see there, they are listed by that. You'll see that $2.5 million out of the $4 million budget is for Department 1, which is the majority of that, which is the police department, plus the city clerk's office, the accounting department, code enforcement, public works, parks and rec, and then community development. And so currently, the budget requests are $4,565,418.80, which means we have a $400,000 revenue or budget deficit that we have to resolve somehow for this year. Just a couple of things of explanation. The health insurance benefits are the net figure, which means that we have taken the gross and we have subtracted from that the employee contributions toward that, so that's a net. So when you're looking at the health insurance cost, we have already figured into that the amount that the employees contributed, so we have that to start to work with. A couple of items that were in there from last year, some income that was actually wage reimbursement was reclassified and so forth. So we're confident on the income side. Unfortunately, unless we find a way to raise more revenue, we're going to have to make some cuts. Even if we didn't, if we had the same amount of revenue, 4.3 million, if we could had the same amount of revenue from last year, we would be okay. But unfortunately, the revenue has dropped considerably in a couple of line items. So with that, I'll throw it open. I don't know if you want to, if you have made any thoughts about your department that you would like to discuss, or if we would like to just sort of work through the expense items.
I'll say for public works, our budget is exactly as what it was last year, with the exception of one thing of $10,000 for the fencing, which we have to use the compost pile. Soon they get to figure it out when you're doing it.
Okay, you know, we will have another staff meeting after this meeting, probably. I can tell you this, I have not scrutinized these, but if you spent $100,000 on a line item last year, and you have $70,000 in your budget for this year, I'm gonna ask you why. Okay? If you spent $100,000 last year, don't try to convince me there's only, you know, you have to give me a reason why you think it's less. On the other hand, if you need more, then an explanation is helpful too, but, you know, the budget has to be realistic. The numbers have to have some rhyme, just like the income numbers do, the expenses have to. One thing I would like to mention is that if you go into your department, by the way, all of this does represent the new rent figures for Sunoco and Burger King and CareerLink, and all those things are in there. So if you look at those, all those things, you'll see that they are, all those have been included.
John,
Yes,
are you going to schedule meetings with each individual?
yeah, I think we will do that at some point. Maybe that's a way to do that.
Rather than, you know, like tonight, we're not gonna be able to nickel and dime things.
No.
To talk about each one independently.
John, I have a question here, maybe Terry can help me out. On my healthcare package, I'm up roughly 14,000. And I know we just had one of the employees take their wife and children off. I have a savings there. 452.156. Fifth one down from the next page, the last page.
Are we, has that been adjusted?
Did Mark actually take, was that the present page yet?
It'll be effective November 1st.
Okay.
Was
Yeah,
not.
that will reflect it.
So that is not reflected in there, so.
Okay, thank you.
Kevin, how was the non-uniform pension? Did that go up a lot or?
No, about 3,200, 3,400, something like that. It's 130,072, I think, next year. So I think it was 126 or 127 last year was. I think what were they all?
One thing I have to say, John, is I'm looking here, general insurance and workman's comp is adding everybody's department, are broken out separately,
Yes.
okay? If I held mine, I'm real close to being exactly where I was last year,
Okay.
other than the roughly $36,000 that's shown for those two line items, the last two of my department. I just did another cross check and
And unfortunately, you get charged with all of the part-time summer help?
there's some in there. Now, I get a lot, I get reimbursements of 90%
Right.
on that line item for the wages for playground and so forth. So actual cost, it doesn't show that on the back side. It shows there $50,000, but I get 90% of that back.
What page are you on again? Like you're in
I'm on my first page, the last line item.
the regular line item page, okay.
Yeah, on my department, yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I got it.
Something else I would do, say, John,
That's just.
prices are raised on the rink. I'm not sure, Kevin, on our numbers coming in, the receipts at the rink, you said we're doing some good numbers.
Yeah, I'm not, what I'm seeing so far for the first couple of weeks, Joe, not too bad. The weather's kind of warm then too,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it does affect us. Do you want to make a comparison from last year to see where we're at?
From, you mean, October 1, October 31,
Yes, please.
and I'll give you a date to the next meeting for you. Maybe
Okay.
you, the John, or whoever the staff meeting.
Thank you.
And did we build in that reimbursement because we got it last year, right? Did we build in that reimbursement for that part of the workers' comp? Because we should have.
As a revenue, John,
Pardon?
you talking as a revenue?
Yeah. Yeah, FIA's work study reimbursement,
Yes.
there it is.
We're still-
We're showing you a $45,000 reimbursement on that line item.
Yeah, we're still expecting a check yet from Thanksgiving,
Thanks,
correct,
yes.
Beth? So that should be about,
We're actually, and that's the same as last year, but in 2013, the actual reimbursement was only $37,800.
And actually, it's based on, it's 90% of it actually what we spend.
Right.
I know we line item 50, but on the same token, I don't think swing pools spend as much as that they normally do, or did.
Think we're down this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know the numbers without coming back and looking.
We left the revenue for the skating rink the same as last year now. Year to date, you're down about 30,000, but you're coming into the peak of that season. So you could very well be at, or maybe even a little above that through the end of December. When is it? The season starts in,
First of October,
okay,
so we have November, December yet, and
Yeah.
that's our busy.
okay, so hopefully we'll make.
Yeah, but we're only 30,000, sure, we'll be all right.
Yeah,
yeah, this the other day, we took in a little over 8, almost 9,000, 2 days alone.
how much?
It was 24 something and 63, it was almost $9,000.
Okay,
That'd be positive the other day.
okay, good. Just gonna take a few more minutes if you have anything outstanding, and then we will do, we'll set a time up for individual meetings.
Hey, but don't be shy, guys. Press them
Yeah.
now.
Hammering.
They can't now because they haven't seen it.
Oh, I see, yeah.
I mean, they haven't
Well,
seen the
they
whole
see
thing put
it.
together. They have to.
Well, I know there's somewhere up there, somebody can cut it off.
I don't know.
Tom, basically, where is the extra, where's our?
Health insurance, health insurance is a big one. We're gonna see a substantial increase in health insurance across the board. That was one of the big, additional. And that's also gonna be some of our revenue loss. So there's gonna be a huge swing in health insurance this year. Probably 200,000 in health insurance between the loss of
The,
reimbursement and the additional cost, probably looking at $7,000 just in the health insurance. Workers' comp's up a little bit, so a lot of it has to do with employee benefits. Pension contributions are up. It's almost all has to do with the employee. Now, built into this, we have a 2.5% raise for exempt. employees and 25 cents an hour for non-exempt employees. So that means the average city worker will get about a $10 or $12 a week raise.
And overall, that's this little $11,000 total.
Yeah,
How much?
It's
7,000.
a little over 11,000.
11.
Now, the police department's a different story.
Yeah, well,
That's for 23 employees, folks.
Yeah, 23
Plus-
non-uniform
plus,
employees, about $7,000.
Plus some part-timers.
So I mean, that's fair, and I don't think that, I think we should give our employees an increase. I don't think we should not do that, although I know many aren't able to do that. A couple of items I would like us to think about. Riverfront revenue. We have all the costs down on the riverfront, but no revenue.
before,
Huh?
not to just jump in, John, but I have a meeting coming up with their board
Okay,
to address that issue.
okay.
It's time.
You know, we have extra expense to clean up the trash and bring in job johnnies and do all that kind of stuff, and I'm glad that we can do that. And I certainly want us to use that riverfront to the maximum amount possible, but I think at some point we need to begin to have some reimbursement for the extra cost that, even if it's not a full reimbursement, we need to have some revenue coming in. Also, another thing that I think we ought to think about is street cuts. We have utilities that come in and cut streets. Do we have Rick, do they have to apply for a permit to cut the streets, and is there any reimbursement for that? I know that they patch them up, but you know what happens after they patch them up? Is there anything in your code office where they have to come in and apply for permits to?
Yes, anytime they make the cut in the street, the gas company you're talking about?
Okay, yeah, gas company or,
Yeah,
is there a fee with that, or they just have to make it?
whatever the fee is for the,
Just a,
whatever the
Token.
fee is, I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
Depends on the size of the cut.
size of the cut. You might want to take a look at that because your department has all the expense then of going back after, because a lot of times they patch it by spring, the patches are coming out and so forth. That happened up on Line Street the winter before last. How long should those cuts last? I mean, because if they don't last, we end up picking up the tab.
I'm not gonna go into that step, because I think if they make cuts on the street, whether they're both sides ones or not, I think they should pay it. I don't think they should just be allowed to patch it, but that's me.
So can you check that out for your department, find out what the story is, and let's talk about that.
And down Ray Street.
Something else I'll do, John, is make copies of the current fee schedule for everybody.
Pardon?
The current
Fee
fee
schedule.
schedule, and they can look at
Okay.
whatever fees their departments charge, and maybe that needs to be updated too.
Keep in mind that everybody else is raising their fees, and we need to think about that. We have some increase in electric bills. It's not huge, but we do have a little increase in electric. So I mean, there's a number of things that are just, creeping. But the big difference is employee benefits, and that's probably our number one, out of the 400,000, that's probably 250 of the 400,000 is the increase in employee benefits. Increase in contributions to pension funds, increase in the cost of the workers' comp, increase in the cost of employee health insurance. So probably out of the 400, 250,000 is the employee benefits.
Well, we've been living on that reimbursement for years.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore.
I was gonna bring it up at a future council meeting, but one thing I'd like to do in my department is we do all year round picking up of brush, leaves, et cetera. We're only required twice a year to do that, and we have a compost site. Some weeks they're going out 5 days a week, just going out picking up brush. If anything, what we're gonna reduce is the fuel on that. And I would seriously think that we need to look at that in the future, because a lot of other municipalities don't do that, so I know they say you should never start something if you don't wanna finish it, but I'm
Well,
not,
you have to know what it actually saves us, because that is a great service. There's a lot of people that
But it's very
keeps the
costly.
neighborhoods cleaned up. Well, that's, but, yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but if it comes out to $5,000 or it comes out to $50,000, but you can put some figures to that and show us what it would cost. But there's a ton of people I'm sure they thank all you guys for having to get it out.
Well,
and have it-
That's an example,
That's a
over
deal.
in Arch Street, somebody had a tree cut down professionally, left it in the yard, the guy brought it out for like 5, 6 weeks, we hauled it away for nothing.
Okay.
So that was an added expense to us, that somebody got paid to cut down a tree,
Should have hauled it away.
should have hauled it away.
Well, maybe we need to look at stuff like that.
That's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
about the elderly couple that just has a lilac bush cut down the back and they have a pile, you know what I mean, sitting so high and no way to move it.
I think
That's the one in the 300 block of Arch Street.
Yeah, I'm not sure what, I can check for you.
It wasn't professional, unless you call me a professional tree cutter.
Did you cut it down?
Yeah, for free. Matter of fact, I paid the guy to help me because the guy has no money.
You're a nice guy.
Well, in that situation I was.
You know, that's what I'm saying, sometimes we're going out a lot. I know 2 places up there by the old coal plant, they, you know, those, liner trees, they look like pine trees or whatever they are. They trimmed them on, Stu Eichner's side, they trimmed that whole thing this summer. And they were up there with 3 loads hauling that stuff out. We have to take the backhoe up, 2 to 3 guys, truck.
Well, I say, just look at it, I'm just saying it's a good service though. I mean, when you start looking at the way we are financially, that's what you have to talk about is what services are to suffer. We've been pretty fortunate not to have any services suffer really in the last 5 years.
I know the mayor probably explained to you guys that under revenue for the police department, and the fingerprint processing fees, that's gonna be something new. We left it at 5,000, it could go up depending on what our caseload is for the year. Currently, we don't charge them for anything when they come in to get processed. The county charges a fee, but we don't see any of that money. So I told the mayor, I know out in the coal region, they started doing it. We're actually gonna be charging them a $25 fee, anybody that has to be fingerprinted for criminal charges, employment, stuff like that, we're gonna have a processing fee right at the station there. So that should generate a little bit of revenue coming in.
Now, you're doing that, you don't do
Electronic.
cards anymore, you do the electronic?
If somebody comes in for work, sometimes they have cards, we'll charge them $25 for the cards.
Okay.
So, so that's just a little bit of revenue. We're gonna try that. I talked to the magistrate, he's on board with it, he's fine with it. So we're gonna, hopefully, and that could be more, I'm not saying a significant amount more, but, that could bring in a little bit extra money.
It could be a little more money too, but $25 is not anything out of the ordinary, so nobody's gonna be
No,
surprised at that.
they say you can't do an astronomical charge for it, so I think that's a fair charge. Because I am paying guys to come in for court, you know, they're there 3-4 hours a day,
Right.
so we at least try to get something back for them being here all day.
Okay, good. Okay, hope that works out.
Yeah, I do too.
It is in the budget, so. Obviously, I'd like to take a look at where we can trim costs or where we can raise fees and so forth before we talk about any other means to close the gap.
One question I have, please, the ticket man spend more time in the office or anything like that? We see a pretty nice size drop, I think, on.
Well, he's only there, 25 hours a week,
How many?
25 hours a week.
25?
So he's 5 hours a day, and I have to keep the office open, so when Paula goes to lunch, I have him to make sure he's back by noon to keep the office open. It's only a half hour. And then he's doing his paperwork and filing and stuff like that. There's more to it than just him walking out and ticketing.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah,
wondering,
there's
spend
more.
more time in the office than
He has to do citations, and then cars have to go out, so it's just, he can't, yeah, he does make a lot of runs, but it's just more to it, than 5 hours a day just ain't enough sometimes.
You can see in the last 3 years, you know, we were almost.
That's
at
dropped
60
each year in the
million.
last 3 years. That revenue stream is continuing to drop.
The hours were cut too, though, from that, thanks too.
I don't know how many $1,000 a year, but if you look at the total for the different,
No, you know, Todd does a great job.
Yeah, he does a good job,
He
just,
does it even.
I know before, I think, when Jim Sauer was the meter person, he was getting like 78 hours a pay, 76 or 72, something, between 70 and 80. So we dropped almost 20-some hours of the meter guy being out in the street.
But you can't, if you, show where you don't get away without paying back, give them 30 hours.
I know, I'm just saying, it's,
And there's 20,000 added on. That's why that was done.
no, I know, I'm just saying, I don't want more, to give him more hours.
Yeah, I just, that's what, just wanted to know if he was in the office more.
No, it's his hours, the hours are cut, the hours were cut the last couple of years, so there's not much more I can do about that.
yeah, we're gonna be down about $10,000
Oh, yeah,
from last year.
I believe it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you need to get something together for some increases, see what we can,
Okay.
what options we have out there.
Okay, any other discussion? Any,
I have a question if I may ask. I suggest
Yeah, yeah.
something. I had come down to the police station here the other month to report something. I had to sit outside 15, 20 minutes, 85-degree weather. First, I had to call my cell phone to have somebody come out and talk to me. To report 2 gunshots. Only to come out and have me tell me they got no other calls on it. The idea I had to stand outside and call for them to come and see me.
What time of day was that?
In the afternoon, around, oh, 10 to 1 or something like that. I was at the hospital and I came out and got shot in.
Was that over the summertime?
No, it was here the last month.
My office is open now, unless they're out collecting meter money.
Oh, there's a bunch of people in there talking, and they said, we'll send somebody out, and I waited 15, 20 minutes, and they come out and told me that they got no other calls on it, and I just, thank you, I left. I mean, I was scared.
so they were in the office?
There was a bunch of officers in the office, yes.
Typically, we don't leave the doors open. If Paula or Todd leave the office, or they have to leave, the doors are locked. Because at any one moment, we don't know when we're gonna be running out the door, we can't, we don't
Well,
want
the
to.
city's doors are open, aren't they?
That's why the door, after 4:30, the doors automatically are locked. Because we
cities are
can't get
open.
a chance time to stop and leave the station open, because it's so wide open in there, so. We do our best, I understand.
I didn't know what I was talking about, that's the point.
Okay, any other
Play anybody's
comments?
dead or
Any
not?
other- Terry, do you think we should try to schedule appointments now, or you want to try to schedule individual appointments later?
I'll get your schedule and then we'll do it.
Okay. All right, Terry will be contacting each of you to try to schedule follow-up meetings before our next budget meeting in 2 weeks.
Can we have some income things then in the next 2 weeks at least? to look
Yeah,
at?
we'll take a look at some revenue raises. Okay?
Yep.
All right, Mr. Mayor,
Hey, one quick thing.
Yes, sir.
Like 7.5 weeks up the end of the year, guys will really get tight, so please watch spending, make sure you guys aren't on authorizing spending for the rest of the year. I mean, our tax anticipation note is paid off, I don't really want to go back and borrow any more money for that if I have to. I was paid off since April. I'm doing well, but it's really getting tight right now, really getting tight. So if you could please curtail or watch whatever you guys do in your department, please. Thank you.
Kathy, did you want to add anything that we missed? No.
All right.
Should we try to give us some more money next week? Next meeting? Don't listen
It's
to
your
Josh.
fault, Kathy, you're the new girl.
No, she said 2 years.
Thank everybody for coming, meeting adjourned.
Oh, there you go.
How are you?
Jennifer, glad to meet you. You work there this time.
I'm new to WKOK, so I'll stand over at the end of the board.
Can you, I'll get the timeline is